Okay, so let's sort of take a look at, I thought I'd take you through some of my journals and sketchbooks. This particular book here is the very first book that I started writing down my ideas and stuff in. I actually did a title page called, you can see, the Book of Inspiration. And this was started on the 31st of August 1993. And I'm not going to go through every single page and try and describe it to you. A lot of this stuff is just writing ideas down, because when I started this book I was actually in the second year of art school, and I found I had a lot of ideas coming to me, because obviously being at art school, it's a fairly creative period for anyone. But due to assignments and stuff, I just didn't have the time to actually work on the ideas, so I just sort of wrote things down to sort of come back to at a future date. So in here you've got all sorts of ideas for different things, but one of the sort of important ideas that is in this particular journal are these pages here. And what actually appears on these pages is about 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 up to here are the entire written piece that inspired a series of about, I think I'm up to 13 artworks just inspired by this piece of writing, called Michelle and Jackson, which is a story about I think she's about a young girl who's about 12 years old, and she has an imaginary friend called Jackson, and this is the entire piece of writing that has inspired all the paintings for that. I won't go into detail about that story because that was a video that I plan to make at a future date, and it's actually quite a dark story that sort of on the face of it, when you first see the artworks, it seems like a sort of happy, positive kind of thing, but it is in fact a much darker story, and I'll go into that another time. Other things you'll see in here, I used to do sort of cartoons based on myself, sort of things that I had going on at the time. This monster here is a reality monster, and this character just here, you can sort of see that that's me, or based on me, and it's just called, he's just called Dave. And Dave hardly ever talks, which is people's perception of me, which is I hardly ever speak when I'm out in public. And he had a friend here who sort of did all the talking. So I did a few cartoons based on myself. There's another one there, you can see that. At the time I was sort of a bit self-absorbed, and I did a commentary on whether people, even if sort of girls paid attention to me, I probably wouldn't even notice. So, but yeah, the purpose of these books is just, most artists keep these kind of books and they just put anything in them, bits of writing or sketches or things they've cut out. Something I used to do was, I spent a lot of time sort of doodling little cartoons onto bits of paper, and I used to cut out the best ones and stick them in here, and I actually quite like these two characters here. You can see them. They've just got Extreme Anarchy as a label to them. Someday I might actually do something with those, but they're just sort of quick sketches that I did. See some more here. Kind of like this character here, if you can see him. Not the cat, but this one here. And it's got a little label, Catman. Instead of Batman, you got the cat and whiskers coming off the side. I used to do a lot of that kind of thing. And a lot of this particular book to start with is writing, because at the time I had a lot of ideas that they weren't just images, they were whole concepts, so I wrote stuff down just to remember them. I like this character here too. You can get that. It's the Tortoise of Doom. She's just stood on this little character's friend. There's quite a lot of stuff like that. Probably never amount to anything, but there you go. Some more sketches. Quite like this character. That's the kickboxing croc. I don't know if you can see that. Kickboxing croc. I can't read that, it just says the character's going, damn, he's fast. So this is my first idea. If you visited my website, you might recognise that dog there. It was just a doodle that I did one time, but now I've got that on a few Cafe Press products. There's quite a lot more doodles. Also in here, I've got a photograph here. See that? That's an artwork that I did for an assignment at art school. It's a character I created called Maz, and it's actually based on a TV commercial for the Mazda car company. It was sort of a parody of that commercial where this woman was watching her boyfriend wash a car from a balcony, and she tips a bucket of water on him, so that's pretty much what's happening in that. And that's the final artwork, and this is sort of one of the initial thumbnail sketches I did for it. And this photo here, it's a photocopy of a photo. Get that where you can see it. That's an actual still from the commercial, if you can see it. Sort of bringing out buckets of water to him while he washes his car. There I've got, that's an actual pencil sketch before the final painting that I did. So that's kind of stuff in there. Oh, there's a good photo. If you can see that, that's me at art school. Sort of in my third year. A bit hard to see. There we go. That was actually the day before our graduation exhibition. And behind that, there we go. You can see that. That's my first ever business card as an artist. This is David Arundel, illustrator. That's another one of my little doodles that I did. That was the one that I used out of art school. So There we go. Has an ideas book. This one's not particularly visual because a lot of my ideas were going towards assignments at art school, so I actually had a chance to realise them. That's the first sketch I did of a character called Mo Hendricks, or actually the first cartoon I did. There's actually some earlier sketches where that character comes from. Something else. This is a bit of a flyer for the East Perth Depot Markets, which is a market that was over in Western Australia, Perth, Western Australia, and that's where I had my first ever shop that I sold my artwork out of. As far as I know, the building that was in is still there, but it's no longer a market these days. I think it's actually a factory seconds outlet or something like that. That's a sticker that came off a CD for a band that I like. So that's my first ever book of inspiration, if you